Hello, Tar Heel Nation. Welcome back to another episode of UNC Hoops Talk. I'm your host, Dan DeWitt. As every week, we are back talking about the Heels and their season. A little bit of a down week this week. We split between Miami and Virginia, but barely get by Miami with an OT win at home, and then kind of let one slip away. A couple of injuries. Didn't play our best and shoot very well against Virginia. We're going to hop into those, take a look at the upcoming Wake Forest and big first matchup against Duke in Durham next week. Take a look at those. Try to make this a little bit short because, wow, I've been saying this too much, but I don't want to waste your time. But also still have kind of a stuffy nose. Don't want to be sniffing too much on the podcast and have that in your ear. So let's jump in, get into it, and move on for the Tar Heels, I guess we could say. Yeah, jumping into Miami. Noon tip on Saturday. Heels came out a little sluggish, up by one at halftime. Made a little run in the second half. Kind of came out pretty quick, and then Miami comes back. They just kept hitting shots, and actually needed some big shots by several guys. Kobe White went off with 33 points, had several big shots, but another big three by Kenny, and actually both of his buckets were late and pretty big. And then a huge three by Luke to send it into overtime. And then we took care of business in overtime as they kind of wore down. But, we shot 36% in the first half, 64% in the second half, 38% in overtime for a 47% average. We hit 13 out of 26 threes, so that's pretty good, 50%. Only 10 turnovers, so we took care of the ball. I got out-rebounded, probably the biggest stat, and they had said, too, both times we've been out-rebounded this season, we had lost. We got out-rebounded 39-32 in this one and survived, so that is good. Like I said, led by Kobe White, 33 points. He also had 6 assists, 3 turnovers, a couple of steals, 7 for 10 from 3, huge there. Luke May, 20 points, only 6 rebounds for Luke. Ed Garrison as well, 6 rebounds. Obviously, that's probably why we're out-rebounded there. 2 big guys with 6 rebounds apiece. But 20 points from Luke, 7 for 15 shooting, 2 for 4 from 3. Like I said, the huge one to tie it up and send us to overtime. And then Cam Johnson, 12 points. Didn't shoot real well, 2 for 7 from 3. Kind of struggled shooting in this one, and then also in the Virginia game, even though he had an injury in there. And then off the bench, Nasir Little, 10 points, and that's it for double-figure guys. Nasir also added 6 rebounds in his 26 minutes of play. But, I mean, really everybody obviously this went to overtime too, so minutes are skewed a little bit there, but the starters were all over 32 minutes or 32 or plus minutes, and then Nasir, 26. Seventh Woods, actually 13 points, and he's really been struggling. Brandon Robinson, just 6 minutes in this game. I don't remember that. Why he played so few, I'm not sure. I don't think there was any injury there. And I don't remember that he played so few. But, Seventh Woods, 2 assists, 1 turnover, a foul, a couple of missed shots, and that's about all he gave us in those 13 minutes. And just 3 minutes against Virginia. He's been struggling here a little bit late, and we kind of need that backup point guard. Obviously, hopefully Leaky Black comes back soon with his injury, but that's definitely something we're missing there. So, like I said, we came out, that noon tip. I don't know if we just don't have the energy or what. They kind of stick with us. Come out in the second half, actually a little more energy. But just can never put them away. And give credit to Miami. They kept knocking down shots, and they don't play a lot of guys. They have, again, this is skewed a little bit with overtime, but one of their starters only played 12 minutes, but they have the rest of their main guys, I guess, 34 plus minutes, and then that guy with 12 that started, and then a 19 off the bench, and that's about all they play. Which, I mean, without Leaky, without Sterling, we haven't been real deep either. 7, 8 guys, and actually pretty much 6 guys with the injuries against Virginia. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but we get the victory, much needed, because obviously that could have compounded into another loss as it happened to be against Virginia. So, like I said, could have been kind of a trap game. We survive and get out of there with a game we should win against Miami at home. So I guess you say a good win, kind of an ugly win against Miami there. And then last night, big top 10 matchup against Virginia. They were like 4 coming in. We're 8 in this seeding or in this week's polls. They came out strong. We kind of answered, and then we were playing well there. We were down 7 at half. Again, come out in the second half and start playing well. We had a lead of 7, I believe, was our largest lead in the second half. About halfway through the second half. Nasir Little actually in this game only played 2 minutes, got injured right away, came down on a guy's foot, turned his ankle, went straight to the locker room, and then they came back and said he would not return this game. I don't think he even came back out to the bench. So, prayers go up for Nasir. Hopefully it's nothing too bad and he can come back. We'll see. So far right now it's just a sprain, but we'll see what happens there going forward, because we obviously need him depth-wise, athleticism-wise. Matching up with Duke is, what we'd all been kind of looking forward to, is him matching up with Zion and RJ and stuff like that. And so, yeah, we don't have him this game. Already Leaky and Sterling are out this game with their injuries, ongoing injuries. Well, I guess Sterling's isn't technically even an injury, just soreness. But and then, like I said, we had a 7-point lead halfway through the second half, and then Cam Johnson came down on the guy's foot, turned his ankle. He went out, must have got retaped or something, but he came back and played. But we were missing him for about 6 minutes there. I think it was about 9 minutes down to, well, maybe even not even 6 minutes. I don't know for sure what it was. But 4 to 6 minutes we were missing him, and we really struggled there. Brandon Robinson was doing what he could, but we couldn't match up with him without Cam, his length, his strength, shooting ability, all that stuff. So, again, our starters, 31 or more minutes from all of our starters. And that's, Cam Johnson, including with his injury. So he easily would have been up high 30s as well. But Cam at 31, Garrison at 32, Luke at 36, Kobe at 37, Kenny at 38. And then we had Brandon Robinson with 18 off the bench. And then it was Nasir's 2, obviously, because of injury. And then Seventh Woods struggling again, 3 minutes. And then Playtech played 3 minutes. That's it. So we pretty much played 6 guys in this game. Lower possession game, but we play, against Virginia, they take so long on offense to get the shot they want. You play a lot of defense. You're playing defense for 20, 25 seconds every time, and that really gets to your legs. So I think we were a little bit tired in this. Obviously not the running up and down that we're used to. It's kind of a different tired, maybe even a little mental fatigue from playing against Virginia and their style there. But I think we didn't play well. I don't want to say that, but we fought pretty tough, fought pretty well, and had our chances to win it. Like I said, coming down the stretch, maybe closer to halfway to the second half to 3/4 of the way to the second half. Then once they got down to 3 minutes, they had a lead, and it kind of felt like crap. What are we going to do? Like they just they take so long to get their shot, and they make you take so long to get your shot that 3 minutes feels like a minute or less. So kind of struggled with that, and we didn't shoot the ball well. We shot 35% from the field. They shot 53 from the field. We were 30% from 3. We're 9 for 30. Some of that, and I kind of did a little bit of math before this one, was we chucked up like 3 or 4 threes in the last possession, even though it wasn't going to matter. We were down 7, 8, whatever, probably 8, I guess, at that point, because we got up 3 or 4 3-pointers on that possession. And so that, we would have been at 33, 35% from 3, which isn't as bad, but 20% in the second half, 3 for 15. Again, some of that skewed because of that last possession, but only got to the free throw line 7 times. So we're obviously settling too much for jump shots, shooting 33-pointers and then not making them as well. Kobe White was 3 for 11 from 3. Kenny Williams 3 for 7. A couple of them early. Cam Johnson 2 for 7 again in this game from 3. Luke was 0 for 3 from 3. Luke ended up 2 for 10 shooting, 4 points. Did have 11 rebounds in this one, but really struggled. And that's the thing too. You look at their top 3 scores, our top 3 scores. It's it's the game right there. For them, they had Kyle Guy, Ty Jerome, DeAndre Hunter at 20, 15, and 20. Shooting, Kyle Guy was 7 for 13 shooting, 5 for 9 from 3. Ty Jerome was 5 for 9 shooting, 2 for 3 from 3. DeAndre Hunter 7 for 10 shooting, 3 for 3 from 3. And us, we look at our top 3 scores are Cam, Kobe, Luke. Cam Johnson 16 points on 6 for 14 shooting, 2 for 7 from 3. Like I said, Kobe White, 17 points, but 6 for 19 shooting, 3 for 11. That's after he just made 7 out of 10 against Miami. He's making 3 out of 11 from 3. And then Luke May, like I said, 4 points, shot 2 for 10, over 3 from 3. So right there, boom. I mean, we only lost by 8, so that's a big difference there. And those are the only 3 guys we had in double figures as well. Kenny had 9 points. Like I said, he didn't shoot the ball that well either. Did have 5 assists. And then Garrison Brooks actually had a solid game, 12 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal. Played well, played tough, but, I mean, he's going up against some big guys in Jack Salt and Jay Huff and Diakite for them, Diakite, whatever it is. And, yeah, just a tough game for us. We out-rebounded 38-27, only 8 turnovers. They only had 10. But again, they had 6 blocks, 5 steals, and again, the lower possessions, you're not going to have as many turnovers. You know, the pack line that Virginia plays, they're not going to force turnovers as much. They're going to, you know, make you take bad shots and then get the rebound, only let you get 1 shot. We did have 16 offensive rebounds, but I don't know if I can find second chance points here real quick. Let's see, points off turnovers. We both had 13. Shots in the paint, we both had 22 points. Points off offensive rebounds here, we did have 15 to their 2, but again, 16 offensive rebounds, only 15 points off that isn't really converting there. So, yeah, I mean, we shoot better. We don't have the injuries. You know, if they don't shoot as well, maybe, you know, maybe we pull this one out. Again, they were coming off the Duke loss, and Duke, you know, shot lights out from 3. So that was kind of in their minds, I'm sure, as well. But I don't know. I say unfortunately this is their only shot at Virginia. I don't know that you want to play Virginia again. But we do have some other big games coming up, and I guess we'll transition into those. I know there's a whole lot more to say about Virginia there. We have kind of another trap game coming up this Saturday. Luckily, it's only, you know, we played Monday. We have all the way to Saturday to go, and hopefully to get healthy as well. Like I said, Nasir down, didn't come back with his ankle. Cam Johnson went down with an ankle. He came back, but he still did look a little gimpy. So he's got to get healthy there. So we'll see what kind of practice we can do here. But kind of a trap game. It's at Wake Forest on Saturday. It's a noon tip again. Raycom for TV. So again, it has to be some kind of local channel or ESPN3 or something like that. But you know, hopefully we get the energy to match Wake Forest. It's a game we should win. Wake Forest is not good this year. They don't have the talent that we do, or, you know, that we should expect to be losing to. But again, at their place at noon, you know, who knows who's available. You know, hopefully Leakey can be back. You know, Sterling is, they said, have started to practice, but Roy Williams wants him to get a full week or so full court stuff before he's back, which hadn't started. So I don't know that he's going to play. He might be kind of game time, maybe get a couple of minutes there. Don't know that we can expect a lot from him, but hopefully Leakey can be back. You know, Cam hopefully is still available. You know, we'll see about Nasir. But yeah, that's Saturday at noon, noon tip. And then the big game next Wednesday, the first matchup in Durham at Duke, ESPN. It's a 9 p.m. Eastern tip on that Wednesday there, February 20th. And again, I don't know what to say. This is kind of far out for a preview here. You know, we're 9 days out, or 8 days out or something like that. So again, we don't know who's available as far as injury-wise. Duke's playing at top level here. Obviously, you know, if they're going to knock down their threes with what they have to be able, their ability to drive, they're defending pretty well. You know, Trey Jones being pesky on defense. I think he's kind of the only one I'm worried about defensively. You know, they got guys that can give fouls, Jack White, and man, I don't even know who. They got Bolden down there, and they got Delorier or whatever. You know, they got guys that aren't afraid to foul and just kind of play tough defense, and the refs don't call them all. That's the thing with college basketball, the way it is. Like, guys will follow you every possession, and you know, if they only get called for it 1 out of 3 times or 4 times, you know, they're kind of winning that battle, and they got guys that can afford to do that. So, you know, we'll kind of see what we can do in Cameron Indoor Stadium there against, you know, again, and then also we know we haven't defended the 3 well historically, or even really this year. I don't know that, again, we've talked about pick and roll defense. It didn't look again against Virginia, probably a team that executes really well. I don't know that we're going to see a ton of those against Duke. Probably trade Jones with somebody. I don't know if it'll be RJ or Zion. Probably depends who's guarding, Zion. If we got Luke on Zion, they may try to pick and roll between Zion and Trey Jones to try to get a switch that Trey has Luke on him, or that Zion has Kobe on him. Obviously, he's still got a little bit of a height advantage over Kobe. Definitely a strength advantage. We'll see about that. But it's more just their driving ability, which we also haven't been that stellar at defending. And then if they're going to knock down threes, I mean, they're going to be really tough to beat. So, yeah, like I said, kind of far out to predict stuff here. I mean, we got guys that can match up if we shoot well and defend well enough. I think we're kind of past the point where this team is going to be known for its defense or be really, really stellar at defense. We're going to have to knock down shots to win big games. But if we can defend well enough, we got to kill them on the rebounds, on the boards, to get an advantage there, and then we got to shoot well to beat Duke, especially at their place. It's going to be that much tougher. But even if we lose that one, we're losing 2 out of 3 here. And then we start looking at, we got Florida State coming to Chapel Hill the following Saturday. Syracuse coming to town the following Tuesday. We're at Clemson, at Boston College. Should be a few wins there before Duke coming to town. So definitely a stretch here that isn't favorable us to winning the ACC. We drop a game out of the lead now with our loss to Virginia. Virginia Duke tied at the top there. And then I don't know if we're tied with somebody, but right behind them there. I don't know that it's favorable for us to get a share or to win the ACC regular season. Obviously, the Duke games will say a lot, and then we got to take care of business with everything else. But we'll see there what happens. Also, did want to mention again, I will be at the Florida State game. That's February 23rd, the Saturday. It's an afternoon game, 3:45 tip. Would love to hear from anybody that they're going to be there, if they're going to be there, and all that good stuff. But yeah, I will be there, and trying to look ahead to when I'm going to podcast again. I don't know if usually it's, I would be like the day after Duke, like next week, Thursday. If we lose, I may just not podcast and then podcast the night of the Florida State game, because I'll be in Chapel Hill, have a hotel room to myself. Probably easier to podcast there than, trying to coordinate with the kids' naps here. If you've been a long time listener, I have to do this during nap time with my kids. So I may try to do that. So podcast coming out. It may be a little bit next week, Thursday, or possibly Saturday night after the Florida State game. We'll see there. But yeah, like I said, if you're going to be at the Florida State game, we'd love to, meet up, get a picture, whatever. Always good to meet Tar Heel fans in person as well as connecting on social media. So let me know there. And yeah, that's what we got coming up here. We're coming down to this home stretch of the ACC, and like I said, I don't know that it's favorable for us to get that, but again, we got to stay in that top 4 as well to get the double bye in the ACC tournament. And the net rankings and the seedings or whatever, the first seedings from the committee came out. Right now we're at a 2 seed, so obviously that would be favorable. I don't know if there's any way we're going to get a 1 seed. I guess if we win out, beat Duke twice, and then win the ACC tournament, maybe we get a 1 seed. But we don't want to slip off the 2 either, or at least 3. We want to, I'd say 2 or 3 seed is what we want. Obviously, then we stay away from a 1 seed in the NCAA tournament, stay on the bottom part and play the 2, or, for the 2, play the 3. So we got to kind of keep an eye on that stuff and keep getting these wins. Like I said, we can't lose this trap game to Wake Forest. We got to take care of business when Syracuse comes to town, at Clemson, at Boston College. And then see if we can get one of these Duke games, make sure we beat Florida State at home, that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's what we got coming up here. Should be exciting time. It should be some good basketball, and hopefully the Tar Heels are playing their best coming down the stretch here. But before we leave, of course, taking a look at the old YouTube comments and questions that we always have from people watching live, and that I'm always appreciative of. Sorry. But Bryson Webster watching. Thanks, Bryson, for watching. Says maybe we'll see them again come ACC tournament time. We can take them. Talking about Virginia, I'm guessing. And yeah, I mean, I guess that would be a good place to see them, because where if we lose, obviously we get more rest before the NCAA tournament. But would be good to get another chance at them, hopefully fully healthy and shooting a little bit better. And then Tar Heel Nation says, Brooks is garbage. If we had any kind of inside game, we would be a Final Four team. I don't think he's garbage. Obviously, he's not the caliber, and I'm not trying to say he is the caliber of what we've had in, Meeks even. And think about how much we beat on Meeks for the first 3 years of his career. And Bryce Johnson, again, 3 years we were like saying how bad he was, and then had a stellar senior year. And Isaiah Hicks, and we go back to obviously Hansborough and Jameson and some of the traditional bigs that we've had. Obviously, he's not in that category, but I don't think we should be calling our guys, and I don't think he is garbage. He's given us some solid minutes here, especially with guys out, and he's not. I mean, he's really more of a four. He would be a traditional four, not a four in probably today's game, but he's an undersized five as well. He's going to get up against some big guys. And then Tar Heel Nation also says these are the worst big men we've ever had. The worst big men in Roy Williams ever, for sure. Probably the worst starters we've had. And we've talked about this in the podcast before. Like, these guys would be quality backups, but probably not the quality of starters that we've had. Again, we've said that. I just went through that. But he said if we had an inside game, we wouldn't have to shoot so many threes. Yes, but, I mean, there's other ways to get points inside besides having a big guy. I mean, spread the floor and drive. I mean, Kobe White can get past anybody. Cam Johnson been's more aggressive going to the hole. I mean, we got Nasir Little. Again, if we would spread the floor a little bit better, he would have more open lanes. He hasn't been real successful. He's had a couple of games. He's looked good going to the basket. But and then Antonio Perry says, I'll be at Florida State game also. Awesome. Antonio, make sure you connect with me. I don't know that we're connected on Twitter or Instagram or something. And yeah, let's chat, man. But I think that's it. Not going down anymore. So like I said, I don't want to be here too long. Don't want you to listen to my voice. And hopefully I haven't been sniffling too much on the podcast here. But thanks for watching. Hopefully you will share this out with your Tar Heel friends and family. Anybody that's not connected with the podcast already. And like I said, I'll see you either next week, Thursday, or Saturday after the Florida State game, probably late that night by the time I get the podcast recorded and put up into iTunes and Stitcher and anywhere podcasts are, and here on YouTube as well. Maybe if I do that on after Florida State game, maybe I can do it. Obviously, we always do it live on YouTube, but maybe people will be watching and we can take some more people on, talk to some of you guys. So if you would be up for that, coming on the podcast after the Florida State game, obviously it'd be a little bit before I get back to the hotel room and get stuff going. But if you'd be up for that and want to see that, or be one of the fans that come on and talk about the game, let me know too, and maybe I can get a list there. And if we get enough, then I'll definitely do that. Go after the Florida State game and get some people on here talking about the Tar Heels season and the game and what's coming up here as we finish the ACC. So let me know. Make sure we're connected on Instagram, Twitter, wherever it is you are. I'm probably there. Just make sure we're connected. Those links will be down in the description. But thanks for listening. And until next week, go Heels.